7th chapter of Ezekiel, verses 1 through verse 10, is dealing with the fact of a valley full of dry bones. God is taking Ezekiel up on a hill and showing him a valley, and all of the bones are dry. And he's telling Ezekiel to go and preach and prophesy to these bones. He asked Ezekiel, can these bones live? That's when he took Ezekiel up there. And the bones was dry and they were dead. And he was asking Ezekiel, can they live? Can they live? And so when we look at this topic from this 37th chapter, and written by Ezekiel, the prophet of God, we see some things in this. We see that Israel was in punishment. That they were in punishment. They were in punishment because of rebellion and disobedience. And not only was they in punishment, they had to realize while they were in punishment that God would give them a pardon. Whenever he's punished, he's always willing to give a person a pardon. And God is showing Ezekiel this, and now, since he knows that they're in punishment and he's going to give them a pardon, God wants to demonstrate his power. So he takes Ezekiel up. Even though things look dead, you need to understand that God himself can cause the dead to live.
Yes.
Whether you're physically dead, whether you're spiritually dead, whether you're mentally dead, God himself can cause the dead to live. And when we look at dead, what do we mean when we say they're dead? And why were they dying? When we look at a person that's kind of dead, we realize that dead metaphorically just don't mean death. It just don't mean someone put you in the ground. You could be dead whenever you favor truth over error. You could be dead whenever you favor hate over love. That causes you to be dead. You can be dead whenever you causes abuse over compassion. That will cause a person to be dead. That'll cause a person to die. That's an indication that a person is dead when they rather hate more than they love. That's an indication that they are dead. And when a person is dead, they're in darkness. They don't know where they're at. They're dead. They're in darkness. They don't understand because they're dead. But we need to understand, you have dead people throughout the world. You look at this world, it's just like a valley full of dry bones. Because people in our society have gotten to the point where, to me, surely that they're dead. They have no compassion one for another. They're dead. They have no love one for another. They're dead. They rather go along with error than go along with truth. That makes a person dead. So God is asking Ezekiel, do you believe in the power of God? That's basically what he's saying. Ezekiel, do you believe in my power? You look out, you see all these bones in this valley, and all of them are dry. They're dead. They're scattered. They don't have no sinew on them. They don't have no nerve. They're just a valley full of dry bones. It's kind of like where everybody went and dumped the dead. Just a valley full of dry bones. And God is asking Ezekiel. He's asking him this because of the fact of Israel. Israel is the valley that's full of dry bones. And in Israel is that valley full of dry bones because Israel had been rebellious to God, hadn't it? Israel had not only been rebellious to God, they had been disobedient to God. And God had allowed them to go into captivity. And now in this text we find Israel in captivity because they were being punished. But the God that we serve always wants to give a pardon, and then he'll demonstrate his power. So when we look at this, we see rebellion from the nation of Israel. And we're going to pick this up at verse 1. And remember, Ezekiel is God's spokesman. He says what thus saith the Lord. And God is sending Ezekiel to a people just like you're around our nation today that's rebellious. They have their idols. They don't want to obey God. They're disobedient. They do what they want to do. They treat you the way they want to treat you. And God is sending Ezekiel to these people. And now one thing about these people, Patrick, is the fact that they're already in punishment. But they're still being disobedient and rebellious while they're in punishment. God wants to give them a pardon. But they continue to be rebellious and disobedient. Therefore, God has to allow them to stay in punishment, in captivity. But God wants to give them a word. And when we see a word from the Lord, Because the thing that can make the bones live is a word from the Lord.
Yeah.
When we look at these dry bones, and can these dry bones live? And I'm sure y'all done read the story and know the story of the valley full of dry bones in the 37th chapter of Ezekiel. Ezekiel was the prophet of God. Ezekiel was in captivity. Whenever the Babylonians came and overran Judah, they took Ezekiel, Daniel, the Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They took all of them off into captivity.
Yeah.
And now they hear in this text they're in captivity now. And while they're in captivity, they're being punished because of their rebellion against God. Remember, the Bible says they're being ignorant of God's righteousness, going about to establish their own righteousness. They have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God. Israel had not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God. But God wants to give them a pardon. But he's using Ezekiel to go to a rebellious people and give them a word from the Lord. Ezekiel sat there by the river Kibar. And while he sat there in captivity, he was caught up in a vision. And God was showing him what was going to take place with the nation of Israel. Ezekiel says, as I sit there, and the Lord showed me this vision, he said, I looked at a hand came down, and this hand had a book in it. And he says he took this book, this voice told him to take this book and eat this book. And this book was the word of God. Ezekiel said, I ate this book, and it tasted as sweet as honey. God was giving Ezekiel his word so that he could stand bold and go and talk to rebellious people. See, you have to have the word of God in you first before you can tell anybody else anything. And Ezekiel was the prophet of the Lord. He spoke what thus saith the Lord.